don't like a student for anybody. So they both have their
Hello.
Hmm? Is it the reporter?
It's embarrassing. I need to try the ball. Everyone's like, there's two spots right there.
How you feeling, Madam President?
Feel good.
Sit down or not? Work out tonight?
Get started.
I'll send it to you guys.
Yeah. There's seats over there. The one-
Are you ready? All right, everyone. We're gonna get started here in just a minute. Are we ready? We're ready. She's still collecting. Is she still? Okay. All right. Thank you all for coming. It's nice to see so many faces out in the crowd. First, we're going to reconvene to open session and call to order at 6:03. Please be advised that a recording may be made at the direction of the board and that the recording may capture images and sounds of those attending the meeting. 4.2, report of actions taken in closed session. None. Attendance roll call. President Rothberg Allen here. Clerk Reed.
Here.
Trustee Lopez Jones. Trustee Rios. Trustee Gonzalez. Student Representative Claval. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
District mission statement. We're a collaborative, culturally rich educational community where a rigorous and innovative curriculum prepares our students to be successful contributors to our global society. Public comment. Public business from the floor. This portion of the agenda allows an individual the opportunity to address the board on any item regarding board business that is not on the agenda. Without taking action or entering into a dialogue with the public, board members may briefly respond to statements made or ask clarifying questions about topics posed by the public. Your matter may be referred to administration. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. Is there any public comment?
For non-agendized items, we have Eric Heights is going to discuss athletics.
Wait.
There we go. Good evening, board and guests this evening. Some good news from the world of athletics, Calistoga Junior Senior High School. On Wednesday of this week, the Calistoga High School varsity girls soccer team will be hosting South Fork, actually being played at St. Helena High School at 7:30 at night. We are the number 4 seed, playing against the number 5 seed, so that's a exciting development. The girls haven't made the playoffs for a few years, so if you're available Head down to Singalina on Wednesday night at 7:30, and please support our girls. And then the boys team also plays Wednesday. We are the number 5 team, so we travel to Bentley School, which is in Lafayette, in the East Bay. So we play that match at 3:30. Too early for most of you to attend, but I'll be there. So I'll probably do a doubleheader, come back and see the girls later on. So if you're able to support them in thought or in spirit, please give them your support. And if you see them around town, congratulate them on a successful season. Whether they win or lose, the or not, we're happy that they have made accomplishments and have had a good season. So thank you all.
Thank you very much. Are there any other public comments? Okay, thank you. Okay, so the next item is the proposed 2025 board meeting dates.
So these are the proposed dates for 2025. We'll discuss them tonight and then we'll vote for them at the organizational meeting in December. There are a couple ones that are bold, and the reason is because they are not traditionally on the first Monday of the month. So the first is January 21st. That's actually a Tuesday, and the reason that we're requesting that is because our winter break runs late. And the Monday that we return from winter break will be the week after will be Martin Luther King Jr. So we're asking it to be on Tuesday, January 21st. February is normal. March 10th is the second Monday, and it's because I will be in New Orleans presenting at the association, a national organization, with our work around Transcend and rural schools. April 14th is the second Monday because the first Monday is during spring break, and we'd like to not have spring break. May 5th is the same, June 2nd is the same. We always have 2 meetings in June due to the LCAP and the budget needing to do a public hearing followed by an adoption. July will have no meeting unless something comes up. August, we would like to have 2 meetings. One, August 4th, is because we'd like it to be August 18th because that's after school has started, so everybody will be back. But should there be some changes to the budget after the budget is adopted in June, we will have a report within 45 days if there are massive changes. And so we want to hold that just in case. And then September, October, November, and December are traditionally the first Monday of the month.
Okay, any comment?
Are there any that people think won't work that we might want to discuss or change?
April 14th doesn't work for me, but if it works for everyone else, you can obviously proceed without me. Okay, all right. Okay, update on investigation on dual immersion.
Yes, so this is a brief update just to kind of tell you where we are in terms of what has happened since our last few meetings. The consultant that we hired came out in October. They spent the day here. They visited classrooms both at the elementary school as well as the junior senior high school. They had meetings with parents both in the morning at 8:30 in the morning as well as in the evening. And also met with teachers as well as administrators. They are working on a report which will take anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks to get to us. That report, as I've said before, is not going to tell us what we should do. It's going to tell us what our strengths are, as well as areas that if you want to implement a strong dual immersion program, these are things that you need to consider. Based on feedback that they've received from parents, based on feedback they've received from teachers, and or in their observations, they may say that we need to make sure that we consider certain things that we may not have considered before. That report then will be then brought to the board for us to look at. I'd also like to recommend that we do some more meetings with our families and with our staff to talk about what this would look like or could look like to get more information. As we clearly said, this is something that we're investigating, and I appreciate that the board is asking questions and that a decision has not yet been made. So that's where we are. We do have public comments related to this.
Okay. Well, did any of the board have questions on that first? Okay.
Okay, so public comment number 1 is from Irene Pena.
Hello. Well, this is my first time doing this, But I do want to say, growing up here in Calistoga and graduating both from elementary school and high school here, when I first started, the elementary school was actually dual immersion. And when I got here, that's how it was, and it really helped me. As Spanish was it's my native language, and not knowing that the language was a huge barrier for me, and a huge impact too. So I know that we're just in the midst of discovering and finding out more about this program. I do like to say though that it will be great in the future if we're able to have the meeting together with teachers and parents, just to see their point of view, and so that they could also see where we're coming from and why we really want this. I know we still have a lot of questions, both parents and teachers, and it's not something that has been decided yet. But we just hope that we can continue to explore more if this could actually be implemented in our schools. So, thank you.
Thank you very much for your comment. Next is Haley, is it Rubke?
Hi, I'm Haley. I have a little TK kiddo in elementary school, and I just want to say that I'm really looking forward to learning more about the Spanish immersion opportunities. I understand that it was something that the schools in Calistoga offered a while ago, and I'm curious. I don't know if this is the platform to ask the board questions right now, but I'm curious, and I don't know if anyone on the board worked at the schools during that time while it was being implemented, but I'm curious why we transitioned away from it, and if we know what we'd want to do differently this time around. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Elizabeth Tangen. I said it wrong.
It's okay, everyone does. I also have a TK error, and I want to speak in support of dual immersion. I have had the privilege to learn 3 languages, not fluent in any of them really, but and I think it's such a gift to give our children that not only would it broaden their horizons for their entire life, but it would strengthen our community. When you look around and you see over half of our community is Spanish speaking, it would be amazing for those students to have a place where they can have more confidence in the classroom, but then also a way for our English speaking and Spanish speaking students to connect on a deeper level. So I hope that we can work with teachers to figure out a plan that works for them and parents and make this happen for our kids.
Thank you.
Claire Woodhoff. I'm good. Yeah, okay. I've lost my voice. It's going to come up a little funny. I also want to speak in support of the dual immersion program tonight. I think our community is already dual, and basically now that's been a fact. Most of the kids that arrive in TK and Kimball, I think are already sort of dual. I think many families in our community are very interested to continue learning about the dual immersion program. As we can see, that Spanish is already an integral part of our community. I believe that the ability to speak in 2 languages and then understand several cultures instead of one is a tremendous gift that we can give our children, no matter their upbringing. For the many parents I've spoken to, we do not see this as a Hispanic or Caucasian issue. We just see it as an incredible opportunity for our children. Some of us want our children to be able to maintain their heritage language and preserve their cultural ties and communication with their family members. Some of us want our children to foster cultural awareness and stronger social connection among students, so all can feel integrated into the reality of our community, it being Calistoga, California. finally, I think we can all agree as parents, we all need to give our children the best possible tools to succeed in increasingly interconnected world. Giving the gift of Duolingo and dual literacy to all the kids of our community is not only a gift to them all, but it is also a move forward to acknowledge who we are and what we want for our district. As a professional, I understand that changing the current programs generates a lot of questions to answer and many changes for the teachers. My hope is that we, as parents, as teachers, as board members, as school district administrator, we can listen to each other. We can work together to find a path forward and try this. I don't think it should be a parents versus teacher or administrator. And so I really hope we can have more conversation. And we can champion what makes Calistoga a special community, which I think is a bicultural community already. Thank you.
Melinda Mendoza.
Hi, in this community, I wear a lot of hats. I am an employee of the district. I'm a parent to 3 kids in the district and a toddler that soon will be in this district. And I also volunteer as a coach. So I know a lot of the members of the community, a lot of the parents of the students that go to our schools. So I'm here to support the idea of maybe one day implementing dual immersion, but I'm also here seeing all these red shirts, all of my colleagues, and I'm not sure. I wish I knew. I guess I'll learn right now why they're all wearing red, but I feel that this is a challenging topic. I feel that there's fear on both sides, parents, teachers, and I feel our board is made up of very smart people. So I feel confident that you guys will make the right choice for our kids. That at the end of the day, we need to make the right choice for the kids. And seeing all these red shirts kind of made me talk here about dual immersion and being for dual immersion, because a lot of these people are my friends and they obviously have a reason why they're wearing red. But I hope that at the end of the day, we do what's best for our kids, because that's why we work here and that's why we are all here. So that's it.
Anyone else? All right, yeah, yes, thank you. Sorry, I was not pretending to talk, but I just want to share my experience here. I've been in Calistoga for over almost 24 years, and I have members of my family, nieces, nephews, my daughters. Now my grandkids are going to the school, and the opportunity to have them to speak 2 languages is incredible. It opens the door to more knowledge, more self-esteem when they go to other countries and they're able to speak Spanish when they go to Mexico. Most of the kids in our family born here. So to be able to have those kids to go to Mexico and meet their relatives and feel comfortable to speaking to them is very, very nice. As somebody said, I hope we can take all the facts in consideration, the pros and cons, and come together to a solution. Because at the end of the day, we all work here, we all live here, and as somebody else said, this is for the kids. We have to live, put ourselves away and think what is better for our kids. And you know, we are a small community.
we don't need division. We need to work together because we live in this community and the kids, our future, are the most important. Now, thank you.
Yes, please.
¿Hay otra persona que le gustaría hablar sobre el tema?
Good evening, everyone. My name is David, and I have 3 kids that come to this school district. I'm also part of the South Council for high school. I grew up in St. Helena and went to the St. Helena elementary, middle school, and high school. And they actually implemented Blue version right when I was in middle school, 90s. And there's a reason why they don't have it anymore. I don't know if you guys already reached out to the school district in St. Helena and see how that worked out. I think it's important to see that side of it. And I understand the focus of other people trying to learn, obviously, another language, being bilingual, trilingual if we could, that'd be awesome, right? But I think the main focus is, do we want kids to learn a new language? Or do we really want them to learn English, math, science, all those other topics that are important? Our community is composed of what, 87% Hispanics, Latinos. They already know Spanish. We want them to learn English a little bit more, right? I know there's a small percentage of English-speaking only people that want to learn Spanish, another language. I think it is more onto the teachers to try and teach in a different environment with new language and everything. It's going to cost a lot more, obviously, for the district. I'm not sure if our teachers are going to get paid a lot more, right? If they're going to have them be bilingual and learn more stuff from them. So I think it's important to see other schools that have tried this and why they no longer have it anymore, right? I think the main focus should be getting our kids up to standards, education for college, for all that. And I think we're doing a great job. I would really hate to go back trying to implement something that's going to hold up a lot of the teaching for the students, right? Like I said, we're over 80% Latinos already. I think our focus should be to get those kids up to par in their English language and also all the other topics and subjects that they need to learn to prepare for school and college and universities. I think that's just my 10 cents. I know there's a reason why it's no longer in St. Helena, and I know they had it very long many times years ago as well. Again, why did it go away, right? And even then, it was a higher percentage of English speaking only than is Latinos right now. So we're kind of going backwards. Back then, we had a lot more English speaking students that could benefit from this. Now we have a lot more Spanish speaking students that really should get up to par into our English arts, writing, all that kind of stuff. So just makes sense. Thank you.
All right, I would like to, yeah, go ahead.
Hi, so I actually was here in school when it was the dual immersion program. And from what I do remember, it was a good experience. I did feel like my classmates and myself, we were able to, now that we are adults, and I do have, my classmates back then that are professionals now, our doors have opened a lot more professionally to more opportunities. And so I just wanted to share that experience that there was a lot of benefit into learning those 2 languages in school fluently, speaking, writing, reading. And it is true that most of the students that do come in are Hispanic and they know Spanish, but they start to lose it. I'm talking my experience. I have a second grader where she no longer wants to speak Spanish now. And her first language is Spanish. And I don't want my daughters to lose the language that, from their origin. So I just wanted to share my experience as a parent and as a student where that did grow up in a dual immersion school. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Only que en Spanish. Bueno, yo también voy a hablar un poco sobre mi experiencia. Yo tengo 4 hijos y a mi hija también tuvo la experiencia de la mayor de tener, durante el tiempo que ella estuvo en la primaria, de tener los 2 idiomas. Y yo puedo ver hasta el día de hoy que su manera de expresarse, de comunicar hasta conmigo y con mi esposo es muy diferente a mis otros hijos. Mis otros hijos también hablan español, pero al escribirlo, al expresarse, es muy diferente. Y tengo a Nicolás en primer grado de 7 años, entonces para mí sí sería una gran herramienta para él, ya que continuaría con su lengua y también le abriría más oportunidades. Al igual, mi hija la mayor está trabajando en la librería y el leer, escribir y hablar español le ha abrido muchas puertas. ¿Verdad? Gracias.
Alrighty. So Gloria wanted to share a bit more about her experience as well. She has 4 children, and she wanted to share that her oldest daughter attended elementary school here in Calistoga, and where she learned both languages. And she can see that the way she expresses herself is very different to her other children. Her son right now is in 1st grade, and she would like him to continue speaking in his language of origin. And additionally, she also wanted to communicate that her oldest daughter works at the library, and having both languages, both Spanish and English, has really opened up opportunities for her. Thank you.
My name is Mary Villalba. I actually never attended a dual immersion, but I worked at a dual immersion. And I just wanted to clarify, and I don't know if they clarified this during the meeting, but it doesn't replace any curriculum. It just enhances the curriculum. It's pretty much supposed to be a community where you can actually speak math in 2 different languages. It's not supposed to take away, it's supposed to enhance. So I don't know where the misconception was there, and I know I heard a lot of that it's going to take away things. It's actually not supposed to. It's supposed to enhance it and brighten it. And that's the difference between a dual immersion. It's speaking math in 2 different languages. It's speaking science in 2 different languages. It's just understanding it and being able to intellectually communicate differently with others. So I just wanted to say that out loud. Thanks.
Anyone else? All right, just as board president, I would like to thank everyone for their insightful comments today. We all sit here as elected officials. We serve you, the community. We're honored to sit here today to serve you, and it means so much to me, and I don't want to speak for the whole board, but I guess I will, is that it's really a privilege to have all of you come and care about the school and have your voices heard and communicate to us what you want and what you're feeling, and your message is absolutely heard. And so thank you for participating. Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for speaking. I know it's really hard to get up and speak to all these people. So it's a privilege to sit here today and to see all these people that care so deeply about our school district. I think that we need to communicate out to the community that this is something under consideration. It has not been decided. We are absolutely taking all these thoughts into our decision-making process. So I think it would be a great idea if we could continue to communicate our message out to our community and our stakeholders, including the fact that we're still considering what the next steps are going to be. And Dr. Pittman, if you could send a parent square to make sure that all stakeholders and all members of our community are understanding that this is an item under advisement before the board. So thank you again. And I'll just add, everyone is welcome to stay for our meeting. Again, it's always exciting to have people here, especially have people speak and provide input, but you do not have to stay. I will only be slightly offended if you leave. All right, so we are on to the cost of issuance.
Okay, as the board is well aware, we have sold our last issuance of bonds from our Measure A 2010 bond measure. And that was $8,880,000 that was sold last month, October 1st. It is our obligation to come back to the board and let you know what the costs were to actually sell those bonds. And we had an estimated cost of issuance of $200,520. And I'm happy to report that the actual cost of issuance came in at $171,903. So we were able to save $28,617.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, 6.4, board policies and administrative regulations, first reading.
So we have some board policies that come to us from CSBA that are intended to get our policies in line with updates to the federal Title IX law, which was updated in April of 2024. Title IX was recently updated to, it expands the definition of what is sexual harassment. It expands the scope of the investigation or where sexual harassment or Title IX could apply, and it changes the investigative and decision-making process. So these policies are intended to get us in line, and there are a number of separate policies that we bring to you for a first read, and then we'll have a month for comment, and then we'll bring them back to you in December.
Thank you. 7.1, student representative report.
Hello. So as we transition into the heart of fall, I'm excited to share some important updates. The fall sports season has come to a close and we've witnessed some outstanding performances from our teams. The boys soccer team has successfully qualified for the playoffs, demonstrating resilience and teamwork throughout the season. Their hard work has paid off, and we encourage everyone to come out and support them as they compete for the championship. The girls team is also going to playoffs, considering the last playoff run in 2018. The determination and spirit they've shown this season has been inspiring, and we're excited to see what the next week holds for them. Looking ahead, winter sports are about to kick off with both boys and girls basketball starting next week. Our athletes have been training diligently, and we're eager to see their efforts translate into a strong season. Please mark your calendars to come out and support our teams. Last week, ASB organized the Halloween costume contest for students at school, which was a huge success. We saw a fantastic array of creativity from classic costumes to unique interpretations. Prizes were awarded for the most original, funniest, and spookiest costumes, fostering a fun and festive atmosphere throughout the school. ASB is also hard at working organizing our annual Dia de los Muertos event scheduled for Wednesday, November 6th. This celebration is a wonderful opportunity for students and senior parents to come together, share delicious food, and honor this vibrant cultural tradition. Attendees can look forward to lively music and a stunning display of altars crafted by students, reflecting the creativity and connection to their heritage. We invite everyone to join us for this meaningful gathering. As November approaches, it's a crucial time for our seniors who will be turning in their applications for California State Universities and University of California schools by the end of the month. Committee are finalizing their personal statements and gathering recommendation letters, and we wish them all the best in this important process. Their hard work and dedication are commendable, and we look forward to celebrating their achievements in the near future. Thank you for your ongoing support and involvement in our school community.
What won the funniest costume?
Ms. Oates, Mr. Knight?
What was it? What was it?
Australian breakdancing team.
That's funny.
I think she had the moves down and everything.
Maybe the next meeting she could come and demonstrate. Thank you.
I just wanted to make one clarifying point that due to the FAF games, we are going to move our day of the dead event to Thursday, the 7th. Thursday, the 7th at 7 p.m. We just made this change this afternoon to accommodate for FAF games and to continue our celebration.
Are all members of the community invited?
We invite both schools.
Oh, okay.
Does that conflict with?
Okay, I won't come in.
It does not conflict because it will be immediately after our town hall, so all of our town hall people who come will be able to stay for the hours with us. Yeah, we'll start at 7 o'clock, right when you're done.
Thank you. Calistoga Associated Teachers.
Just wanted to clarify and explain why we're here in red. Red stands for Red for Ed, and it's a color to show unity and solidarity among teaching professionals in education. El color rojo significa unidad o solidaridad de los profesionales en educación. The people you see here in red are experts when it comes to education. We are professionals who through many years of specialized training and experience are quite knowledgeable about what works for students and for schools. You're looking at a combined total of hundreds of years of teaching experience and knowledge about how schools work. This is why it's critical to listen to the voices of the people you see sitting and standing in front of you. And this is especially true when decisions are being made that depend on us in order to be successful. Calistoga Associated Teachers conducted a survey to see how our members felt about specific issues that have been discussed at the board. First, we asked if teachers would support a policy that bans or eliminates homework at either elementary school or junior senior high school. 95% of respondents opposed the idea of eliminating homework at either site. However, many of us agree that it could be a good idea to establish reasonable limits and guidelines when it comes to homework, and we'd love to continue to be a part of this discussion. A more pressing topic of concern is dual immersion. Our survey asked, should Calistoga Joint Unified School District adopt a dual immersion program in grades TK through 12? And the answer choices were yes, no, or other to allow more neutral or nuanced responses and explanations. The majority of our members have responded to this survey, and 0 have responded yes. This includes bilingual teachers, teachers who have taught in dual immersion schools, and teachers whose children have been in dual immersion programs. 77% are opposed to adopting a dual immersion program here, while others are undecided. Some believe in the merits of dual immersion in general, do not believe it's a good fit for our specific situation right now. We don't disagree with the goals or ideals of dual immersion. We agree that preserving and celebrating cultural heritage is a good thing. And it's also pretty undeniable that being bilingual and biliterate is a strength and an asset. Just as an aside, I can speak 4 languages. I did not go to bilingual instruction perché posso parlare italiano molto bene, perché ho lavorato in Milano per 2 mesi. Io parlo português também, mas não muito bem. Je ne parle pas français, mais je parle. You don't have to go through a learning program to learn languages. However, the district's taken a one-sided approach to its communications, highlighting only positives and potential success, while not acknowledging potential downsides. This is simply not an accurate representation. In reality, there are pros and cons to dual immersion. Just like most things, there are benefits and there are costs, and not just financial ones. Dual immersion is not necessarily a solution that works everywhere or for everybody. It very much depends on circumstances. Are people aware that our current 12th graders who've ever been identified as English learners did better on last year's English test in the state than similar students at dual immersion schools across California? Are people aware that if we start the program in TK, none of the kids currently enrolled in our schools will ever begin in the dual immersion program? Are people aware that Calistoga already tried bilingual education about 20 years ago, and we had to abandon the program because our test scores were not good? Did you know that Healdsburg had a dual immersion program, but ended it a little over 5 years ago? San Antonio also used to have one, but discontinued it in 2011. If dual immersion were a guaranteed success, these programs would still be in place today. We feel that people haven't been given a full and balanced representation of what dual immersion is and what it would look like in our schools. And doing so is absolutely critical in the decision-making process. We would welcome a forum in which both teachers and parents can have a conversation about this together, because both groups have valid concerns that we need to discuss and share. Y ahora otra vez en español. Las personas aquí en rojo son expertos en materia de educación. Somos profesionales que, a través de muchos años de formación y experiencia especializada, sabemos lo que funciona para los estudiantes y para las escuelas. Tenemos un total combinado de cientos de años de experiencia docente y conocimiento sobre cómo funcionan las escuelas. Por eso es fundamental escuchar a estas personas, especialmente si se toman decisiones que dependen de nosotros para tener éxito. Calistoga Associated Teachers realizó una encuesta para ver cómo se sentían nuestros miembros sobre las cosas que se han discutido en la Junta. Preguntamos si los maestros apoyarían una política que divide las tareas de las escuelas. El 95% de nuestros miembros se opone a la idea de ordenar las tareas en las escuelas. Sin embargo, muchos de nosotros estamos de acuerdo en que podría ser bueno para establecer límites y pautas razonables para las tareas, y nos encantaría seguir siendo parte de esta discusión en el futuro. Un tema de mayor preocupación es la inversión dual. Preguntamos, ¿debería el Distrito Escolar Unificado de Calistoga adoptar un programa de inversión dual en los grados TK a 12? Y las opciones de respuesta fueron sí, no u otro para permitir explicaciones. La mayoría de nuestros miembros ha respondido a esta encuesta y 0 ha respondido sí. Esto incluye maestros bilingües, maestros que han enseñado en escuelas de doble inversión y maestros cuyos hijos han asistido a programas de doble inversión. El 77% se opone a adoptar un programa de doble inversión aquí, mientras que otros están indecisos. Algunos creen en los méritos de la doble inversión en general, pero no creen que sea una buena opción para nuestra situación específica en este momento. No estamos en desacuerdo con los ideales de la doble inversión. Estamos de acuerdo en que es bueno preservar y salvar la cultura. También es cierto que ser bilingüe y biliterato es una fortaleza. Sin embargo, el distrito ha adoptado un enfoque unilateral en sus comunicaciones, publicando solo aspectos positivos sin reconocer las posibles desventajas. Esto simplemente no es una representación precisa. En realidad, la doble inversión tiene pros y contras. Hay beneficios y costos, y no solo de dinero. La inversión dual no es necesariamente una solución que funcione en todas partes o para todas las personas. Depende mucho de las circunstancias. ¿Sabe la gente que nuestros estudiantes de 10º grado identificados como IEL obtuvieron mejores resultados en las pruebas de inglés del año pasado que los estudiantes similares en la memoria de las escuelas de inversión en California? ¿Sabe la gente que si iniciamos el programa en TIE, ninguno de los estudiantes actuales participará del programa de inversión? ¿Sabe la gente que Calistoga ya tenía educación bilingüe hace unos 20 años y tuvimos que abandonar el programa porque nuestras calificaciones en las pruebas no eran buenas. Sabe la gente que Hillsburg tenía un programa de educación dual, pero lo terminó hace unos 5 años. Sigrid también tenía uno, pero lo suspendió en el año 2011. Si la inversión dual fuera un éxito garantizado, estos programas todavía estarían vigentes hoy. Creemos que la gente no ha recibido una representación completa y equilibrada de lo que es la inversión dual y cómo se vería en nuestras escuelas. Hacerlo es absolutamente fundamental en el proceso de toma de decisiones. Nos gustaría un foro para que profesores y padres puedan tener una conversación sobre esto, porque ambos grupos tienen preocupaciones válidas que debemos discutir y compartir. Gracias.
Thank you. Next up, Classified School Employees Association.
No report. Is that still in the report?
No report.
Okay, thank you. Calistoga Elementary School Principal.
All right, good evening, everyone. With respect to LCAP goal number 1,
Which is ensuring academic excellence for all students. We are in our second year of attending the Capstone training. I think probably later on you'll hear about the training that we received on October 14th. The focus of this training for our team is professional learning communities. And so this month, we started our mini presentations with staff regarding professional learning communities. In fact, our staff meeting was today. And the focus this month will be on looking at focusing in on an essential standard to look at and define over the next trimester, including looking at common formative assessments to support what students are learning, what we'll do if there are challenges, and what we'll do for those students who are exceeding. Then on November 1st, we had a professional development day. There were quite a few options for our staff. Grades K3 attended Step Up to Writing training, and grades 4 through 6 attended training on considerations for Wonders implementation. And grade TK worked on looking at the initial UPK draft of updated transitional kindergarten standards. With respect to LCAP goal number 1, providing a safe, healthy, and positive school environment, that's actually where the focus of our work was this month. We, on October 31st, 2024, we had our second annual Harvest Parade. We had a different route this year, and it was pretty creative, and I'm very grateful to our Climate and Culture Committee and their student council for supporting this activity. We ended up routing the students in the front of the school where the parents waited, and we actually got to do a nice parade route, because last year the square started to get a little smaller and smaller and smaller. So I think it worked out well, and I think fun was had by all on the day. And then our Wellness Center is up and running. It will be open during parent conferences for drop-in visits so that parents can check out this center. When I wrote this report, and this was data that was 2 weeks old, we had 81 visits. Today at our staff meeting, we've had 254 visits. And so, and breaking down the data as to reasons why students are coming, we interview, they come in enrolling, I have the name, room number, and the reason for visiting. Is it classwork? Is it a friendship problem? Is it other? And then we do outgoing data of how do they feel after their experience in the Wellness Center. And so we are meeting as a team for the Wellness Center every other week. We review that data, and then we also look at
who are students that need additional services. We also will look at, just doing little tweaks, as we call it, in terms of if we have students who are being more frequent flyers and showing up multiple times to the wellness center. And then we started today, actually, our initial discussions regarding the safety plan. And one area that we are going to revisit is the Standardized Emergency Management System, or the SEMS, during an emergency drill. So if you do have an event, then you go into your SEMS chart of managing your students after an event like an earthquake, or if there's a fire, we have to do a large-scale evacuation. And so we do have, in the last few years, we've had quite a few new staff. And so we feel that now is the time to relook at that and start working on having a SEMS chart that everyone understands and feels like they can access. And then this month we have our parent conferences, and we align our parent conferences with our report cards, and we give basically the trimester report card updates. And this year we're going to be adding a grade specific explanation of our essential standards by grade. And we do value this time as an opportunity to create space and time to discuss student progress. So that is the report. Are there any questions?
Not a question, just a comment. Anecdotally, I liked the new parade route.
I did too. I think it worked out very well.
I liked it. Anyone else have a comment on the parade route? All right, thank you. Next up, Calistoga Junior Senior High School Principal.
Okay, in regards to LCAP goal number 1, ensuring academic excellence for all students, Calistoga Junior Senior High School is working to develop a professional learning community school-wide to support collaboration and student achievement. During our professional development day on October 14th with Dr. Luis Cruz from Solution Tree, we were provided with research and evidence for how PLCs can help support our school culture of collaboration and student learning. We will continue this work, and we did so actually on Friday as a staff. And dug into the essential standards. We looked at the college and career readiness standards, as well as the not the math content standards, but the drawing blank on the math standards. But we took some time in school-wide teams to pick one of each, and so it was very exciting, and it took some process. Additionally, on October 16th, we offered the PSAT to approximately 50 students who will get their results on November 7th through the online college board account. Students will then use their PSAT results to prepare for the SAT or ACT. In regards to LCAP Goal 2, providing a safe, healthy, and positive school environment, our site is continuing to support positive recognition for students who are engaged in positive behaviors on campus. During homecoming week, our site gave student points for spirit days, and we continue to issue positive media points for students. We also issued the SEL survey for all students during Capvisory, and will review the results with staff as we receive them. On October 17th, we engaged in the Great Shakeout, which is a nationwide drill focused on safety and earthquake preparedness. We completed the simulation, evacuation, and returned to class. We will take note of details that need change or improvement when the drills occur, so that we can be better prepared in case of a real emergency. In regards to LCAP Goal 3, increased parent engagement and enhanced communication. We do hold coffee with the principal the first Thursday of each month. It will be this Thursday at 8:30 here in the Empire Cafeteria, and we do plan to hold our Day of the Dead celebration now added to be Thursday, November 7th at 7 p.m. to support student leadership and review efforts and serve grad. And that concludes my presentation. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
The homecoming parade all worked out.
Perfect. Mr. Oaks is on it. You are next.
All right. So I missed the last board meeting, so hopefully you got all the updates you needed. Ouch.
So as you can see, lots of progress going on in the STEM building. My training was out here for quite a bit and was pretty cool to drive in every morning and see new walls up every day. And then I'll mention some at the end that's really cool to check out. So right now the goal is just to get it as watertight as we can before the rains come. That way they can start working on the inside and not have to delay the project at all. Our fields are still moving forward. We put out our RFP for lease back contractors. Those will be back on the 7th. We should be interviewing sometime next week with the contractors that we narrowed down to. Let's see. And one good thing about getting the contract on board ASAP is just it'll really help us firm up the schedule and the plan. So the contractor will be able to give feedback on whether that's going to be possible or other alternatives we can look at. So it'll just be another brain on the team that'll be really helpful to get that moving and get it done for the new football season. Let's see. We're still working on our TK design. The goal is to have that into DSA initially by December 12th so that we can meet the timeline required for the grant that the TK grant that goes with it. Right now, and I'll talk on it a little bit more on the action item agenda, but there's some soils that need to be mitigated. The soils are not very good by the riverbank. It's still the ideal location for it, so we don't want to try to put it anywhere else. So we do have to do some mitigation of those soils, and I'll just explain a little bit of that when we get to the action items. And then I don't know if you're doing basketball courts. We got 2 humongous generators. We're still in the design on that because there's quite a bit involved in connecting them. It's really easy to connect them manually where we shut off all the power to the site and then we turn on the generators and connect those. That's just not very functional. It takes quite a long time. So we are doing design for an automatic crossover to the generators. They'll kick on, do what they got to do and be on within a reasonable amount of time. And then lastly, what I mentioned, the STEM building going up. We started a construction page. It's on the district's homepage under About Us. Click on construction. There's the initial flyby when we first did our design build. You saw the design we picked, and it was kind of a video of it flying over what they had in mind. And then in addition to that, Larry had set up a camera on top of classroom 1 that did a time lapse, and the time lapse up right now is from mid-August to like last week. So it goes through the trenching process to laying all the conduits to pouring the cement and then getting all the walls up. So it's really a pretty cool video to check out. So yeah, if you have time to do that, take a look. Do you have any questions?
No, I was just going to say thank you for all your work and all the district's work on getting the STEM building up. I know that we all got a lot of comments on how exciting it is to see it going up and seeing our tax dollars at work. So it's great.
When they had the first wall up, I was like, well, it's going to be kind of, and now it's like, wow, that's.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So thank you. All right, Director of Educational Services and Human Resources.
So since our last board meeting, we've had 2 professional development days. November 1st, which Monica and Nicole spoke about, where school site specific issues were addressed, which is a good thing to do. We have a number of professional development days that are district wide, but there are site specific issues. So November 1st was devoted to that. October 14th was a district-wide training on PLCs. And I was thinking that we haven't never really defined this for the board, what PLCs are, but this is about the adult work. This is how the professionals in the organization collaborate, especially for us on our shortened days on Wednesday at CES, Tuesday, Thursday at the junior senior high school. What do we do with that time? How do our teams meet? What do they talk about? What data do they look at? What outcomes are they striving for? Making sure that we have structure and intention and intent around how that collaborative time is used. And we've had an ongoing commitment to PLCs and that work. This is work that really started pre-COVID at the elementary school and a little later at the junior senior high school. And in addition to the professional development day, we've done professional development almost on an annual basis on this topic. And our principals and a team of staff leaders attend monthly trainings in Sonoma County. And those meetings in Sonoma County are led by Dr. Luis Cruz. And I had not met him, But our team who was attending came to me and said, we've got to bring Dr. Cruz to Calistoga. So then we started working on doing that. And I shared with our staff, he's kind of like the headliner of PLCs, right? He's the guy. He's a national presenter. He's really an international presenter at this point. So I called his company. I said, yes, my team says he has to come to Calistoga, make it happen. And they said, that's a tough ask. So we've been working for really about a year and a half. Someone asked the other day, why do we choose October 14th? It seems so random. Well, that was the day Dr. Cruz was available this year, right? So, he's very good. It's what he does. He presents. So he's engaging, he's entertaining. And so our staff was certainly very engaged. But I think more than being a great, showman, the content of the day was very good. And we achieved our objectives on that day, which was to do some district-wide norming, to have the whole staff hear a common message, to understand the why behind the work. Why are we doing PLCs? And really to energize the work. This is not new work, so we're not bringing someone here to help us kick off something new, but we do need to continue to focus on energizing and keeping that work alive, and so it can continue to thrive. After we do professional development, we always send out an evaluation form. We try to get feedback from our staff to guide our future planning, and this is the highest rated training we've ever done. It had 100% positive feedback, like on a scale of 1 to 5, pretty much everyone was at a 5 on every category. So it was a great day. But in my conversations with him, the reality is he can come in and he can energize us, and then he leaves, right? Now it's our turn. And so it's our turn to work, to do the work. But we've got great structure in place. We have not just principal leaders, but we have principal and guiding coalition, a team of staff helping to lead this work forward. We are also in the middle of a CalPADS fall data review. I'm bringing you all the exciting stuff. I'm going to read it to you. California Longitudinal Pupil Achievement Data System. It's a lot, right? This is a big deal, though. This is California's statewide tracking system for schools, and it has really evolved over the years to collecting an enormous amount of data from schools. And I kind of did a laundry list for you, and I was going to read it, and it's just like everything, right? They collect all the data. And they do this, we do reporting twice a year in fall, and then at the end of the year. And we've got some good systems in place to make sure the data is as accurate as it can be. One of the things the data is used for is school accountability, right? And so we want to make sure that data is as good and accurate as it can be. And so something we do in Calistoga, which I think is a little bit unique, and we can do it because we're small, but it does take some intention to do it, is we have our administrative team, our site administrative team, district administrative team look at each report and go through it as carefully as we can, line by line, because even with the best systems in place, there's a chance for human error, and one student being in the wrong place. When we say, did that student graduate? Was that student suspended? Did that student reclassify it from English learner status? We want to make sure that we catch any mistakes. So we're currently working through 23 reports. And then my last item today, I'll give you another acronym. This is LEA-BOP. It's a good one. LEA, that's us, the local education agency, and BOP is Billing Options Program. We're doing some new work around this right now. And what it is it's a program for schools to receive federal reimbursement for services that are related to Medi-Cal. So if we are providing services that are billable, Medi-Cal billable services, this is a system where we can be reimbursed for those services, right? And in this case, we're talking about special education Medi-Cal eligible students, services provided by a speech pathologist, school psychologist, school counselor, occupational therapist. And the things that they do a lot, like it's almost the entirety of their job that's Medi-Cal billable. Assessments, counseling services, direct services, so direct speech or occupational therapy services, right? LEA-BOP is not new. I think it's been around since like the mid-90s. But Calistoga has never participated because it's Medi-Cal, and so it's horribly cumbersome to bill. You need a pretty significant support system to do the billing process. So this year, Napa County Office of Education has prioritized supporting LEA BOP in districts, which is to our benefit. And so they're providing direct support to districts throughout the county. And so we are initiating LEA BOP billing. And this is important. It provides much needed funding and ongoing funding for us to special education programs. These are very costly programs that are covered at about 38% of the costs are covered by state and federal government. So anything beyond that, we cover the cost. So anything that we can do to seek out all available funding sources for our programs is in our interest. And that's my report for tonight.
Thank you. Any questions? All right, Director of Business Services.
Hello. I'm going to add to the cool construction project that is happening on our high school campus. We had our Citizens Oversight Committee for our bond measure. We had a meeting on Monday, October 28th. And we have a great group of community members that we meet with quarterly. And they were all very appreciative to see all the walls going up as well around our STEM building. And they were even more thrilled to know that we're still on time for finishing when we need to finish. So wrapping it all up with Chris's presentation to you tonight.
May 31st. I'm just putting it out there.
May 31st. One member of the committee really wants to know how a bond sale happens. So next meeting, we'll be talking about the entire process from beginning to end of a bond sale once the measure is approved by voters. And we'll be meeting again in January of 2025. We've been undergoing our audit for the 23-24 school year. We're at the tail end of things with them and are in the process of cleaning up a few remaining items. The audit report is due to the state by December 15th. So I will assist the auditors in compiling that final report that goes to the state. In January, we'll have someone from Christy White, who is our auditor. They will be here to present the audit information to the board as they do every January. Nicole Humphreys and I attended, Nicole Humphreys is our business services technician. Her and I both attended the breakthrough coaching last month. So we got through our training. It was a great training. I just wanted to thank the board and Dr. Pittman for the opportunity to receive this type of education. Although Nicole and I aren't a principal secretary, we have different kinds of positions. And that's mainly who the training's for. I think we can take some of those recommended practices and really improve our efficiency on a daily basis, maybe not work 10 to 12 hours a day like we do a lot of days. And so again, I just wanted to thank the board for approving that expenditure and giving us that opportunity. And that's all I have for you tonight.
Thank you. Any questions? All right, 7.9, Superintendent.
So the first thing that I want to report on is last week I was in Savannah, Georgia, presenting at the National Forum to Advance Rural Education. My specific presentation was partnering with Melissa Harris from Transcend and Beth, some of these things are, so don't butcher it. Superintendent out of Massachusetts, Rural School District as well. And the title of our presentation was Leadership from the Heart, Transformative Practices for Putting Rural Learners First. One of the reasons why I was asked was with our work with Transcend is thinking about what it means to be a learner-centered leader. And many, ours doesn't in particular, but many mission states and mission states in education think about how students should be lifelong learners. And it's difficult to try to get our kids to be lifelong learners if we as adults aren't lifelong learners. And so the idea behind this work is us as adults, how do we center leaders at all levels? How do we center learners at all levels? Both from students to staff members to the administrators to myself in terms of actually being a learner first and how that learning can help us propel working for our students. The benefit of that was sitting with my colleague. One of the things that I learned from her, which so I'm going to follow up with her, she's in a small school district just like us, very rural, and is contemplating that work around how do we get students to have dual opportunities because they too cannot go to a college to earn college credit. So they have partnered with one of the first universities in the nation that actually gives authority and credit to the teachers for the work that they have done and not just the masters that they hold. And so I'm following with them to see how we can possibly learn from them and have a partner with that university. Their graduating class had something like 30 to 45 students, so smaller than ours. And last year's graduating class earned 265 college units when they graduated. So that's pretty exciting. So that's the benefit of being part of these cohorts and these partnerships, is knowing that while we're doing great work in Calistoga, there are other places that we can learn from too that will just help us bring us to the next level. One of the other things that I learned was one of the sessions that I went to was a research session, and it was based on figuring out or learning from why there's a smaller number of students who come from rural communities that go into the STEM field. And so they were researching what are the social capital that the students have that do go into STEM fields that come from rural schools. What can we as the LEA's K-12 system do to support them, and what can universities do to support them as well? And so thinking about when our students leave us, if they choose to go to college, how can we support them and lead us to either, whether it's STEM or not, but how to support them to be successful? Because one of the attributes of being in the rural community is because we're so small and we know our people. And then all of a sudden we go to a larger environment and it's surrounded by people that we don't necessarily know or connect with. So how do we support our students when we go into that environment? And then also bringing up the idea of what does parent engagement look like, and we made it very clear that schools need to reevaluate what engagement looks like, and it can't be the same type of engagement that we think it has been over the course of the past 50, 70 years. And so we've been having that conversation for the past couple of months in terms of knowing that many of our families are actively engaged in their students' environment. It just doesn't look like what we thought it might look like. And so how do we actually change our interactions with our families so that we can value and appreciate the work that they're doing to be engaged in their students' learning? So it was definitely very beneficial for me to go both as a presenter and as a learner. So thank you for allowing me to go. Oh, sorry. Question.
Just so excited to comment on what you just said.
Okay. I got a whole list. In addition to that, part of that work with Transcend was thinking about a LEAP survey. And so we're going to be pushing out our family LEAP survey in the next couple of weeks. It has twofold. One is asking our families how they feel about those 10 LEAPs in relationship to their students. We're also going to be adding questions that are open-ended, asking them what they want for their students that will help us guide us in our work in redrafting the mission and vision statement. So that we're going to be able to have a mission and vision statement. I just received an email today. They are a member of League of Innovative Schools, and I received an email that they are looking for a League of Innovative Students. And so it's a design sprint in collaboration with the EdTech Remix team from the Graduate School of Education at Stanford University and Stanford D School. Students will work alongside experts to address real-world educational challenges and develop solutions that could enhance the learning experience for millions of students across the country. This unique opportunity will help students develop variable skills in design thinking, collaboration, and innovation, allowing their voices to be heard as they help shape the future of education. So I'm going to be working with Principal Valdenegro to determine 4 of our students that would be excited to be a part of this work. We are collaborating with the executive director of the Brandon Center to survey our families, and they're going to be using the results from our high school survey on what our students want and what our families want as the Brandon Center is coming to life next year, and how we can partner in supporting different performing arts and other avenues within the community. I'm also working with them on the new parking agreement, so that will be coming back to life where we can use their parking lot. So that'll be ready next year. We already talked about this, that Thursday night is the Calistoga Community Schools Initiative Town Hall at 5 p.m. We'll be here in the purpose room. We'll be asking our community similar questions, and then there'll also be opportunities for them to hear from the new fairgrounds director, from the Brandon Center, and from LA Health on things that they want and need and what is happening in our community. Saturday, we are providing CPR. Saturday, we're providing optional CPR first aid training for any of our staff that are interested. It'll be here at our purpose room. They'll get their certificate. A reminder that before our next board meeting, we will all be in Anaheim at the CSBA Annual Educational Conference. It's from December 4th through December 7th. AD Eric Heights mentioned our playoffs, just reminding that again. And I do want to hear, since I was unable to be here because I was in Savannah, so when you reports, if you were there, I do want to share with the community that Representative Mike Thompson was here last Thursday to celebrate our MIT students with the work that they've done and their inventions. I know that a couple of you were able to attend, so when you do your reports, I'd love to hear about that experience. That's my report.
Thank you. Thank you for going to Savannah. That sounds like a great trip. Anyone else? Okay, consent agenda. Actions proposed for the consent agenda are deemed routine in nature and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless any member of the board, the audience, or staff requests specific items to be removed from the consent agenda for separate action. Can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Matt. Second? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This is a roll call. President Rothberg Allen. Aye. Clerk Reed.
Aye.
Trustee Lopez Jones. Absent. Trustee Rios. Trustee Gonzalez. Student Representative Clavall. Absent. All right, action items. Protocol for action item includes a staff presentation, questions from the board, public input, deliberation by the board, and voting by the board. During public input, there will be a 3-minute time limit per person. 9.2, agreement with Gainer Telesystems. Maureen.
This agreement with Gainer is going to add some cameras at the high school for more expansion of coverage, as well as migrating our security camera system to a cloud-based system. This will help with access for our administrators to be able to see footage, and Gainer will provide monthly quarterly monitoring to make sure all cameras are functioning properly. Total cost of this project is $52,750.47. This will be a budget increase to our technology department, but there have been funds set aside in our ending fund balance to pay for this project.
Any questions? Can I have a motion? Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 9.3, additional services proposal with A3 Geo Inc.
Yeah, so A3 Geo has been, we've had tons of contracts to the board for them, no, not tons, but enough. They started on site in 2017 for the Riverbank failure, and they've been involved in every other Riverbank project we have. It's basically a geotechnical firm that checks the soils. They bore down, say about 60 feet just to get, to see what kind of soils we have. We don't have very good soils. There's two things. The first one's called liquefaction, which is kind of a sandy, you might know about it in the valley, but then the other one is liquefaction, kind of makes it like liquid almost. Once it gets wet enough, it turns into liquid. There was another one, I don't remember the term, it's more of its ability to support and not push out. So there's some soil mitigation that needs to take place, and it's got to go about 30 feet down. So we'll have to take and mix in soil 30 feet down to firm up that foundation. So when they pour the concrete and piers, it stays in place. So we need that company to be involved, because we have to go to the California CGS, the California Geological Survey, or we can go to DSA. So we need to make sure that they're on board because they're the soil experts. So that's the added service.
Thank you. Any questions? Can I have a motion? Thank you, Rudy. Second? Thank you, Laurel. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 9.4, additional services proposal with Nino and more.
So DSA requires inspection services, not just looking to see if something was done right, but to make sure that anchor bolts are torqued at the right amount. CMU withstands a certain amount of pressure. The cement withstands a certain amount of pressure after a certain number of days curing. So there's some additional services that we need to do. I don't know the specifics, but it could be anything from checking the tensile strength of a bolt to more CMU testing. So if you want to know what they're looking at, I can find out, but I don't know off the top of my head. It's just DSA asked for it.
Any questions? All right, can I have a motion?
Great, I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Agreement with ELB US Inc. Maureen.
This agreement is for the final phase of our front row installations district-wide. The last phase will include the new STEM building as well as classrooms 1 and 2, 31 and 32 at the high school, and then the library at CES. This is going to be a CUPCA contract. Larry sent a scope of work to, I think, about 6 vendors. 3 completed the proposal accurately with the scope of work, and out of the 3, ELB's proposal was well under the other 2. Total cost, $118,218.97. This project will come out of Fund 40, our capital outlay project.
Questions? Can I have a motion? Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Closing items, board member reports. I don't all fight, but I can go. I, along with Matt, and Matt can provide his input, attended the Mike Thompson award ceremony, and it was awesome. The kids were great. They gave a presentation about their invention. Mr. Thompson, Congressman Thompson listened. He was there. I think he took a tour. Monica could probably speak to that a little bit, but he was really interested in our STEM building. He asked a lot of questions. It was really exciting for me to see a congressman come to our campus. And I thought the kids did a great job with everything. So that was great. The only other separate comment I have is I've heard from a lot of parents that we've been getting inundated with Parent Square. And I think a lot of things are slipping through the cracks, and I appreciate the school communicating, but maybe restructuring how the Parent Squares go out so that the messages are all received and people are understanding what's going on at the campus and can go to the events that they want, would be great.
Wait, well, I can just add a little bit on the Thursday visit from our representative in Congress. It was great to have him here, and I know he enjoyed the tour. He asked really great questions of the kids, which gave our students a great opportunity to go into real depth about their inventions. They were demonstrating one of the inventions at the time, and I think the poor student who was wearing it was getting quite cold. It was working very well. It took longer than anticipated. And the fact that it was on Halloween and many of the students and faculty were in costume was added a nice surreal touch to it. It was fun. And yeah, so it was great.
And board member Maxfield was there also, which was great too. Our ex-board member Maxfield, retired. Yeah. Anyone else? All right, our next board meeting is after CSBA. Can't believe it, December 16th. A tentative future agenda items, our annual organization meeting. No need to reconvene to open session or closed session. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Second.
I'll second.
Thanks, Matt. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Down to 2%.
The whole meeting.
Yeah, it started like 6 years ago. So, yeah. Work together, we agree on things. That's kind of it's like. Oh, I didn't know. No, I got that because I started working. Oh, they jump you in. That's what they call jumping you in. Right.
Oh, I see. If you're not actually in. Right. Yeah, no, he